Holy shit, guys, I fucked up, and I'm not just referring to the game that I'm about to commentate. Let's just say when someone calls you a cunt on stream and then you realize that you totally deserve it, then you've done something really bad. But more on that later. Let's get into the game. So, I was playing Germany against Lucas's Spain this game, and for my starter meet, I made 4 heavy cannons. It's a choke, so that means you can field more artillery and protect it easier. I made 9 war wagons and 10 dops in an effort to cover my artillery, and then a few skirms, I guess. And I deleted all my Ulans because I remember I scouted 15 rods, and Ulans will be useless against that many rods, plus the 13 halbs in the start army. They'll just die instantly, so it's pointless having them. So I boomed 2600, which is respectable. He boomed 2045, which is pretty good. And I would have not geknoord into Wisseldoing France mirror, but since this is a past broadcast for my stream, obviously I can only view this fight. So let's start. First thing I did was build the native post at the bottom right, and then I see my settler wagons all the way back there. And yeah, I was pretty mad. But I lost a few seconds, like, complaining here. I should have just spent it trying to micro my army in FB rather than just complaining so much. I got the native. First thing I do is get the speed tech and then upgrade the natives. And I'm trying to save my heavy cannons to the best of my ability, spamming dops to try to push this back. Spamming infantry out of this one barracks, but obviously one barracks isn't enough. I should probably have been making some infantry from that back barracks as well. I've decided to flank the corps with my natives, or at least I think that was the plan. Not okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now. And I should have, at this point, his army wasn't pushed in so much. I should have just sent some settler wagons to the right side to build there so that I would actually be able to defend this native. Like, why are all my settler wagons on the left side? That's actually really bad. Should have had some settler wagons on the right side, like building a few barracks so that I can actually defend this native. I already said that. Like, with only natives, I'm just gonna get pushed in there, and I'm just gonna lose. Then that native is just gonna get mortared. My infrastructure on the left looks better now, though. And yeah, I lose the native almost immediately as the result of that. And it's not really luck that I didn't send any settler wagons on the right side to build some shit, which I easily could have done in the first 2 minutes. Yeah. Anyway. So I have a lot of war wagons, and I need artillery, and I see I have it on the way. And I'm FBing to the left because natives are pretty much fucked now, and so the only way to win would be to get in his base from there. Horse artillery should be micro to skirms because he does have a lot of skirms out. War wagon artillery is a decent composition if you can keep natives and a few dops in front of it to block human lancer. I think I could also queue a few Ulans because his skirm mass looks pretty large. And the idle Ulans, it's just a waypoint failure. I should have had the waypoint on the tower before 40. I just forgot this game. one of my many mistakes this game, which are my faults. Queuing the ops there because natives are dead. I need to make a really fast jump in order to have it. I needed to make a really fast jump in order to have any chance of winning. Queuing coals to protect the horse artillery. Reviving the explorer ASAP to try to take back the native if at all possible. And I actually queue a few skirms here to like take care of his skirms. Well, the downside is that I'm gonna lose natives instantly though. But natives were gonna die, but I was gonna lose the natives anyway, so I figured this was the only way to win. Moving the skirms up, queuing mortars. Mortars will help to take care of this FB later. Now that I've lost natives, I should take one of my factories and put it on coin. Because I gathered, according to the assumption, that I would be playing the game with 2 natives, which requires a lot of food and a lot of wood. But since obviously that's not going to happen, I should have like adjusted my distribution accordingly and put a factory on coin, and also moved a few villas to coin. Oh, and another thing to mention is that I like deleted all my villas to get into his base faster, leaving only my settler wagons. I'm dropping pop a lot right now. And so yeah, I'm like mortaring his FB here, splitting the Ulans to kill as many bills as possible as fast as possible and make it harder for him to deal with. I've completely lost all my FB there, so I'm gonna have to fight in base. So I like made a ton of gates. Like if you're stuck inside your base, you should gate everything. And I think partially because he was busy dealing with all those little Ulan groups, I was able to walk into his base and kill his factories. But obviously the downside is that you lose both natives. I think Sabusa should have had some buildings in Lucas's base before 40, and if he did, they probably would have stopped my jump, not lost any factories, and Lucas would have taken on Nats. They would have won much earlier. They have to send a lot more pop to kill this because Sabusa didn't have buildings in his base, so that he was late reacting. Because it doesn't matter that he loses pop against Kitchen Lord, because what's going to happen is Kitchen Lord's going to have to move his entire army to deal with Lucas, because Lucas is just going to barrel into my base really fast. Walling, trying to build an eco wall behind that, because it looked like my outer walls were going to die. And the switch to coin was late, because I have 40k food and only 7k coin. And then we were able to double Lucas. I abandoned the jump as soon as like Lucas and Sabusa sent a decent amount of army to kill it. And it looks like Kitchen Lord also tried to flank him from up here. Or he flanked Lucas from up here, yeah. I needed some war wagons here. I have like pure scum. Because I didn't have a stable, I guess. Oh, Well, it took a really long time to push out Lucas because he was like playing Spain with both natives. So I don't know if the jump was worth it. And Sabusa was actually able to push mid really fast, as you can see even on the mini-map. Now Gichinor would have had to help me either way because natives were just lost. I think jumping was my best option. So I should take this native back immediately. And what I should have done is send some dops to contest to the bottom right native and sent my explorer to like try to build on it. Because like if I can take both natives back, I'm in a much better position. And his army is far enough back that I think I could have easily slipped 10 dops and an explorer past it. Especially since I'm ordering his FB here. You need more war wagons here to deal with lancers. Requeuing settler wagons. I think I should have done that a long time ago. All those lancers making Ulans and war wagons to try to deal with it. Queuing natives as soon as I can. And now it's too late to take that bottom right native because like Lucas has this native mass out and he's pushing me in, so I've lost that opportunity now. Needed to be faster. Should queue some artillery right now to deal with this scum mass. I need to invest a ton of pop to kill his lancers, which means the only way to contest this scum mass is with artillery. I'm stunning the tower up. I don't know how long Sabusa was hustlinking my skirms. I didn't notice it. I probably had a barracks on the left with the waypoint to Lucas's fight. May have lost like 10 or 15 skirms that way. It's not good. I get the heavy cannons out, micro them the skirms. Kind of getting stuck in my FB here because Lucas is pushing in. I really should have one of my factories on coin right now. Should be villing up to 40 vils means your score will drop really fast. Especially with natives on Andes. Like on Orinoco, playing with 40 vils can be fine. Like Nourish 55 Orinoco. But on Andes, I'd almost never recommend it. Unless you're doing a yellow push or something. Like I was doing earlier. Native Explorer waypoint fuck up by me. Should queue some Ulans here. He doesn't have many Humikas out, but he has a lot of scums. Yeah, I think I need more Ulans here. Which I'm making a few, I guess. Heavy cannons on skirms. Queuing a few dops to deal with an anti-humica mass. It's the only way to deal with it when you don't have natives. I was able to push him back, which let me take the native again. And here I had another opportunity to contest that bottom right native, and I didn't take it. I just like I should have immediately sent my explorer down to that bottom right native after building this native, but I didn't for some reason. I guess I didn't see it, but yeah, it's kind of sad. This war wagon count is fine if you have 3 heavy cannons behind it. And this is a good wall to help consolidate the fight, which is good for fighting Spain. I think a lot of these skirms here should have been Dop, because his skirm mass doesn't look so big now, but he's making a lot of Lancer and Native. Queuing natives always from the post. I hurl the heavy cannons. At this point, it almost looked like I was gonna be okay. I have 3 heavy cannons and a choke point with a nice wall, and that was sloppy using that heavy cannon there. I think I should have had like 2 coves on the top left corner, at the top left, like right here, to deal with any mortars that he might use to snipe my native. Like behind that wall there would have been good. Should queue more Ulans for the right. His skirm mass is so big. And I need to push out of this. Needed to push out to be able to win. Otherwise he can just kill my native. And Sabusa can feed him easily. His skirms are kind of spread out, which is good for heavy cannon fire. I think these skirms are like stagger moded, which is good. And I'm out of food now. I have 55 vils on coin and only 5 vils on food, and this is a pretty common mistake. Like, I noticed earlier that I was out of coin but had a lot of food, so I overcompensated, I put all my vils on coin, and then I forgot to switch back as soon as my distribution evened out. So I ended up with the opposite, running out of the opposite resource. And now I have to ask for food. Oh, Lucas never took that bottom right native. Well, either way, I should have tried to build on it with my explorer, and if I had done that, I would have had more of a chance. Lucas is doing a really good job kiting with his corvs. I have 7 corvs and he has 3 corvs, so but I can't even use my corvs because of the melee pressure. But I should be like trying to, like being more aggressive with them, not playing this cat and mouse thing. When because I outnumber him so badly. Microing the heavy cannons. One of the things I did do well this game was heavy cannon micro. I got a lot of good shots, but it didn't matter because he just pushed in with native rod lancer, and heavy cannons just, and my army just lost to that because they didn't have natives to deal with it. And at this point, if I had like macroed factories back to food or coin, like one of my factories to food or coin, I would have had like 2k more at least of each resource, but I didn't. I forgot about my factories. Good that I have some dops here to block the native lancer, but it's really not enough at this point. He has 2 natives and I have 0. That's a 50 unit advantage on him. Well. Probably have used some more dops here and more ulans, less skirms. Oh wow, I didn't even, like, when I ran out of food, I just didn't even put enough fails on food. Even after I ran out. And now I was also out of resources, and again, if I had macroed my factories, I would not have been out of resources at this point. I wonder if that poor factory macro single was like... I wonder if I would have had a chance if I had switched my factories to coin or food on time. Like, probably not, because Lucas would have just gone back, remasked, pushed again in the worst case scenario. But yeah, we could have lasted longer if I had like put my factories on a different resource than wood. Damn. Good that I walled that bottom right corner, which I can use to flank his army later. Now that I'm stuck in my base because I can't keep pop, Lucas is just sent half of his army to double Gitchen Lord because he knows there's nothing I can do about that. I can't keep 200 pop. I'm stuck in my base. His mass is much greater than mine, so this is a good move from him. He's preemptively preventing any doubles from Gitchen Lord by taking out his middle FB. By helping Sabusa take out his middle FB. So I desperately tried to like tower in my base. Try to like drain him again or something. But if you're stuck in your base and your opponent has all 4 natives, then you're probably gonna lose. Because even if you do manage to drain him, your opponent can just go back, remass back up to like 50 Humikas and 30 Bolas, push in again, and kill you with the superior mass. So it was really just over here. Gishinlord doubles Lucas in a last-ditch attempt. Because Lucas doesn't have any factories. If we can kill his eco, if we could have killed his eco, then Sabusa would have to feed him again. It was probably... so I guess he figured it was our best chance, but we were dead anyway because... We lost all natives, we lost all of the map, and they're pushing into our base with 4 natives and lancers. And here comes the ugly part, where I like flame Lucas because I lost to him. It's really, really shameful and really embarrassing, to say the least. And not just embarrassing, it's just like it was just really shitty of me. Y'all see later. And if you've watched and if you were watching my stream when this happened, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we were stuck in our base. I'm trying to fill up to get enough eco to get back up to 200 pop. Yeah. It was just over here. Oh, now I get to see myself. Oh my god. See myself completely lose control of my temper. It's just so painful. This will just be so painful to watch. It's like one of my worst moments in Treaty. Reliving it again. Why didn't I just resign? Don't even have to say GG, just like resign. Oh my, why didn't I just resign there? If I had just resigned there, it would have been so much better. Oh my god. And see, this kind of stuff is really unnecessary to say, even if it's true, which it's not true, because as you can see through the commentary, I actually made a lot of mistakes this game, and there were a lot of things I could have done better. Factory macro, and I could have built in the bottom right corner here. And yeah. And yeah, that's not true. Like, and even if it were true, it would still be super unnecessary to say, and this is just like... And to top it off, I called him a faggot. And this is why Lucas won't play with me at the moment. Where do I start? This was just unacceptable for me, to say the least. And I could have just waited a week or two for this to blow over, but that wouldn't really be doing this justice. For the past few months, I've been on a downward spiral of flaming or insulting teammates and or opponents when I lose, and it has got to stop. At first it was just really passive-aggressive and subtle insults, but it's been getting worse. I guess this was like the climax. Because one way or another, my bad habit of flaming or insulting teammates or opponents when I lose is going to end. It may not seem like that big of a deal for some people, especially League of Legends players, because in League of Legends, much worse insults are thrown around all the time. But let me explain why it was a big deal. In League of Legends, no one knows each other, whereas in AoE 3, everyone knows each other. It's one thing to be called a faggot by a guy from solo queue that you'll probably never see again. It's a whole other thing to be called a faggot by a guy that you've known for years. It's also a big deal because I'm a top treaty player. Whether I like it or not, whether or not I think it's fair, what I do reflects on the treaty community as a whole. And, if I act like a douche, it makes the entire treaty community look bad. I don't even have to be a super nice guy saying, wow, good game, well played, every game, and all that shit. All I needed to do here was not call my opponent a faggot, and I couldn't even manage that. There's no excuse. I needed to show at least the basics of respect towards my teammates and opponents. I need to realize that I can't just say whatever I want and expect no repercussions. I need to realize that just because I'm the best player doesn't mean I'll win every game. I also need to realize that at any point someone could surpass my treaty skills, and if or when it happens, I need to be able to accept that. Hell, it may have even already happened. Lukas has been playing a lot better in the past few months, and it's been showing on his streams. He hasn't been making the same mistakes he used to, and he deserves credit for that. He doesn't deserve some asshole from halfway all across the world calling him a faggot because he beat him. So, to Lukas and to the entire treaty community, I'm sorry, and I wish I could say that this will never happen again. But I can't promise that. If I did, I would be lying to myself and to the treaty community, you guys. The truth is, and I know this is really pathetic, a small part of me still resents the fact that I lost this game. Don't get me wrong, though. I regret insulting Lukas like that, and if I'm allowed to play again, I will do everything in my power to stop myself from insulting other players the way I did to Lukas this game. I can't promise anything, though. I wish I could be a good, friendly person like Charles Megan and Sabusa and Milky and players like those. I'm just not. When I lose to someone, I often have to bite back the urge to flame, and sometimes I fail and a few passive-aggressive insults pass through. This game, I totally, utterly failed. It was actually a really good, really close game, but my inability to show the slightest bit of respect afterwards ruined it. All I can do is say I'm sorry and promise to try my best to be a better person in the future. I know this doesn't make up for what I did, but at least I can say I tried.